Good morning, church. Today we are joined by Judy, a dear friend who I've known for quite a few years through house group now. Good morning, Judy.
Morning, Becky. How are you?
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm very well, thanks. Yeah.
Great. Judy, where did you grow up?
Well, my parents got married only a couple of years after the Second World War. They'd been in services, and there weren't many jobs around in those days. So my dad went to work for my grandfather, who was in Hastings in Sussex. And so that's where I was born. I'm a Sussex girl, really. And when I was about 2, we moved to Great Yarmouth in Norfolk. And that's where my brother was born. And then I think it was about when I was about 11, because it wasn't long before the 11 plus as it was in those days. I was about 11 when we moved to Luton in Bedfordshire, because Dad effectively needed to get more work, more better paid work, because we weren't very well off in those days. And I stayed there for most of my life until I came to Dorset. Met David there, went to a gig and to watch a band one day with one of my friends who was going out with the drummer. And David happened to be lead guitarist in the band, and that's how we met. And we had two lovely children, Stephen and Jane. And so we lived there until 2012, excuse me. And then we got a call from Jane one evening to say, we're going to move down to Dorset, and would you like to come as well? And so we put the phone down, and I think we mulled it over for about 3 minutes, actually, and decided to come down, and moved here in November 2012, and absolutely love it in Weymouth. So, we're enjoying it.
Brilliant. How did you come to know the Lord?
Well, my father was not a Christian, and my mother, although she had faith, was not a regular churchgoer. So I don't really come from a background of a Christian family. I did go to Sunday school, and during the summer holidays, I would go down to Hastings again to stay with my grandmother, who was a devout Catholic. And I think really the Lord first spoke to me through her, because she used to take me to the church, she used to take me to her groups. And I think seeing how her faith has sustained her through what had been quite a difficult life for her, I think first sparked something in me. Subsequently, I went to an Anglican church in my early teens on my own volition, became confirmed there. And when I got married, I moved to another church that was nearer to us, St Augustine's in Luton, and went there for quite a long time, 15 to 20 years, and was Sunday school teacher for quite a long time there. There followed then like a period of drifting away from formal church life, and it wasn't really until we moved to Dorset 8 years ago that I just felt the Lord was saying, find a church. And when we walked in DBC, we knew that was the church. We were greeted by the lovely Chris Baker, and we just felt we'd found a home. So that's how, but I do think it was through my maternal grandmother that I first really came to know the Lord. Yeah.
Great. What sorts of things do you enjoy doing, Judy?
Well, excuse me. When I was young, when I was about 9 years old, somebody gave me a very battered version of the Observer's Book of Birds. And I basically knew it from cover to cover. And nowadays, I mean, I volunteer at the RSPB in Radipole, usually when things are normal. And it's been a lifetime interest in me, bird life, nature. David and I still like going out on walks and watching bird life and nature. So that's one thing. Those that know me know that I'm also in rock choir, and that's a great source of joy and friendship. And I'm missing that greatly at the moment. And when I'm at home, I like to read, potter in the garden. We love to go to garden centres, etc. And that's what we do, really.
Brilliant. How has COVID-19 affected you?
Well, I think, like a lot of people, it's been a very up and down experience emotionally. I've really felt the kind of sad, overwhelmed at times by the sadness of it all and what's happening and people losing their lives. It's just been awful. Missing family, of course, as well, my grandsons, and also missing friends. You know, it makes you realise what a wonderful thing it is just to go out for a coffee with a friend, just share with them for a couple of hours is one of the joys of life, and I've missed that greatly. Along with that has come other things. The kindness that's been shown between communities, I think, has been amazing, and also the difference it's made to the environment. You know, we're reading about, you know, the pollution has gone way down because the aeroplanes aren't up in the air. Cities that were really polluted before had smog and such like have now got clean air, and there's a lot of good things, or rather things we can learn from it, I think, and my own real hope and prayer is that going forward people all around the world will hold on to these things, that we will realise we can do something about pollution. You know, we can appreciate everyone, even if they're just cleaning the streets or driving the buses or delivering our posts, that everyone has a value. And we've really seen a movement, haven't we, to appreciate not just NHS workers, but everyone has a value in our society, and I really hope going forward that can be the big message that comes out of this awful experience.
Absolutely. We've done a lot of work on pollution and things at school in my primary teaching class, and highlighted all of these issues. So it's been lovely to have this time and hear all these positive things coming out of the news, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has, yes. And that's, you know, that's what's kind of, you know, I've really taken out of it, you know, that we can do it, you know, if we put our mind to it.
Absolutely. And do you have any scriptures that have meant something to you?
Yes, I'm not one of those people who are very good at keeping scriptures in their head, so I will hold up my hand and say I'm not. I've got a good memory usually, but for scripture it's the memory of a gnat, basically. So I really like verses that are to the point and really strike meaning in as few words as possible, because, you know, it's good for me. And one that's sort of stuck in my mind, probably since childhood, I guess, is Moses' words to Joshua from Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. I really like that, and I think it's really good one to read just before you're going into a situation like today where you might be out of your comfort zone. And it's really nice. And another one that I kind of saw again recently, which reminded me that I've liked it from before, simply for it's short and to the point, and I think although it carries a great deal of meaning, and that's from Romans 12:12. I like the English Standard Version, which goes, rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer. And I think that says an awful lot in a few words.
Absolutely. Judy, thank you for your time today.
That's okay. It's nice to see you, Becky.